You're listening to the Send It Podcast with Andrew Rawls on World Talk Radio.
Grumman 7 Judah Bravo, then ground, turn right on Bravo, runway 1 left, Bravo, and it'll merge with Alpha at Alpha 3.
So everyone is entitled to their opinion, but I wanted to share some information about why I would stay away from container systems where the RSL connects to the left riser as opposed to the right. These systems I'm talking about specifically include the Mirage, and then I also believe the Glide and Wings container systems also connect on the left riser, and they also do not have a Collins Lanyard attached to the RSL or their main assisted reserve deployment systems. I've spoken with numerous canopy experts and canopy pilots and manufacturers, and the majority of them have mentioned to me that upon deployment with a right-handed bottom of container system, the tendency of the skydiver is to dip their left shoulder and hip, which creates a greater load on the left riser as opposed to the right. Back in the 90s, when there were a lot of riser brakes on full F-111 canopies, this was like the original Sabre. There are probably others out there as well too, but the PD, the original performance design Sabre, it was more commonly seen and reported that it was the left riser to brake. So in plain English, what all this means is that the left riser sustains more force and load during the deployment process in the right. Now, I also wanted to mention the importance of a good skydiving container having the Collins Lanyard, and I would invite you to visit dropzone.com. It has some great information out there by folks who are now prominent members of some of the most trusted equipment manufacturing and all of skydiving. But the bottom line is that it's critical that your system has the Collins Lanyard, which I believe was first used by United Parachute Technologies, UPT, right around the time when they brought the skyhook from base jumping to skydiving. And all it is the Collins Lanyard is just a little lanyard or a loop that your yellow cutaway cable runs through, connecting both risers. And there was a great post again about this on dropzone.com, and it does a nice job of simply summing it up as it's like two RSLs connected to the same riser. So really it's just the RSL shackled to the riser itself, and then there's this bridle that is run from that shackle to the Collins Lanyard, which again your yellow cutaway cable is run through. Of course, any skydiver, at least I hope, listening to the show knows or should know that in the event of a malfunction, when you have to cut away, the cutaway handle is connected to the cutaway cable that extracts both risers, with the riser that is connected to the side the RSL is on leaving last. So that's to say that the cutaway handle is obviously on the right side, the left riser leaves first, and the right riser leaves second. The reason, of course, is that we all know the RSL to whichever riser it's attached to leaves last, and that's particularly important as it pulls the reserve pin, and clearly you don't want your reserve out before your malfunctioning main is removed. The problem with the containers such as the Mirage, and like I said before, the Glide and the Wings, where the RSL attached is the side opposite of your cutaway handle, that is the left side, is that in the event that the left riser breaks totally and takes your RSL will do its job and pull the reserve pin with the malfunctioning main still attached via the right riser 3-ring system. So without the Collins Lanyard with the RSL attached to the left side, really the only way that you can fully release your malfunctioning main is by manually using the cutaway handle, and by then your reserve will already be out over your head, either entangled with your main, or you'll have some funky 2-out situation with a malfunctioning main canopy. Now, on the other hand, if you have a container system where the RSL connects on the right side, that is the same side your cutaway handle is on, and the side that myself and other top engineers in the sport of skydiving. Again, I'm not one, but I've reached out and talked to a lot of people about this, and they all agree that you should have a system where the riser attaches on the right side. Then in the event that you do have a blown left riser, I mean, again, based on the history of broken risers, the left riser is usually the one that takes most of the blow. First, your RSL MARD system is not compromised at all, meaning that once the riser snaps, you pull the cutaway handle like you normally would, and your malfunctioning main leaves with the riser connected to the RSL, which then pulls your reserve pin after. And again, the word after is very important in this situation. After your malfunctioning main leaves, which clears your main before your reserve canopy comes out. Also, with the RSL connected to the right side, again, the same side your cutaway handle is on, if your right riser snaps completely, taking out your RSL, you're in luck because your right riser will pull the yellow cutaway cable when it leaves, and then your left riser is released. And then there's some people that say, well, what happens if the riser breaks above the RSL? Well, then that's actually not a problem either. If it's on the right side, the integrity of the system is still maintained, meaning that the RSL won't have fired your reserve canopy. You'll be suspended by your left riser, and then you'll have to pull the cutaway cable to get the reserve over your head, but it won't come out until your malfunctioning main you were suspended by on your left three-ring system is released. Remember, your cutaway handle is your right handle, and the left riser is always first to release when you pull that handle. Again, there are people out there who jump equipment based on price, comfort, affordability, but they don't really look at the engineering and design that go into a container when it comes to the safety of it. Hopefully in this episode you understand why I only jump and recommend container systems where the RSL is connected to the right riser. There are obviously other things I check into, like inspection. I like to look at a company and see what kind of patents they've done, what kind of quality control that they have. But usually for top manufacturers of gear that have been in business for many years, there's a reason why they do the things they do, and the better ones will give you those reasons why. So I hope you enjoyed this episode and learned something. Keep shredding and fly safe out there.
You've just listened to Send It, a skydiving podcast hosted by Andrew Rawls on World Talk Radio. Send It is the #1 skydiving podcast on the planet, bringing listeners up-to-date information on all things sky sports. Be sure to visit senditradio.com to join the conversation, access the show notes, and discover our amazing bonus content and articles. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give a review. Until next time, 3, 2, 1. See ya.